Hi there, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining. And today I have a Capablanca chess game to show you against Grigory Levenfish. Capablanca the third world chess champion, the human chess machine, was playing against Grigory Levenfish. And who was Levenfish? He was actually a pretty important chess player, one of the first ever chess grandmasters from 1950. And he was 2 times chess champion of the Soviet Union. So obviously not a weak chess player, but let's see how Capablanca handled his opponent. So this chess game was played in 1935 in Moscow. Okay, an interesting information about Capablanca. An interesting fact, he never studied chess seriously, according to many resources, and he also never studied chess opening theory. He was an intuitive chess player, and with his intuition he was playing extremely well, very accurate, so that's why they called him the human chess machine. He was natural. And another interesting fact about Capablanca, chess was not his true passion, it was his second passion according to many resources. Actually his first passion was baseball. He wanted to become a baseball player, but that didn't happen because he was not as talented as he was at chess. So he pursued his goal at chess. Okay, so he decided to become a chess player because he was much better at chess, most definitely. Okay, so let's see what happened. We have basically Queen's Gambit declined. This is the Semi-Slav defense, of course. So developing the pieces, and this is known as the Meran variation of the Semi-Slav. So b5, bishop goes back, a6, e4, and then c5, e5 by Capablanca, and then c takes on d4. Capablanca in between move, he captured on b5, knight takes on e5. So if capturing the knight, and knight takes on e5 was a good move. Knight takes, pawn takes knight, and then queen to f3, attacking the rook. So maybe Levenfish didn't want to play rook to b8 because of knight to c6. So he played rook to a5, and also both defending the rook and defending on b4. And Capablanca castled. Now, before rook to a5, actually throwing the bishop in, bishop to b4, check, should have been considered. But we have rook to a5, that would be more accurate, because after checking the king, can you see how white is going to defend that? Maybe blocking with the bishop or moving the king, which is not very appetizing for white, of course. So white castled. White has managed to castle, and if black would have checked the king with the bishop, you can see that white potentially might lose the castling right. So when you see a good move, look for a better one. So Capablanca's opponent played b4, and that's liberating the rook and also attacking the knight and moving the target away from the bishop. Capablanca is developing and defending. Bishop to e7, and black is ready to castle. So far all is fine for black. Of course, I mean, if knight to c6, then bishop to b7, which is possible. And Capablanca played a natural looking move, rook from f to c1, placing the rook in the open file, and black castled. Now it is white to move. Capablanca played an annoying looking move for a human's perspective. He played queen to h3, so you can see that both his bishop and the queen is showing teeth to the king like a wolf, like a hungry wolf, like a wild animal. And in this position, Levenfish played a dubious move. He played rook to c5. Now, I told you that for a human's perspective, for a human's point of view, this looks dangerous. But black should have considered bishop to b7. Usually, developing moves is quite well. It's okay at chess, developing moves. So bishop to b7 should have been considered. Maybe he was afraid because of knight to g4, And how to deal with this after knight to g4. So threatening to capture the knight check and then landing on h7 with the queen and checkmating the king after eliminating the defender. But g6 is defending actually, and it is defending pretty well. But maybe Levenfish was afraid because of bishop to c7 actually, forking the queen and the rook. But black can actually give up the exchange after, let's say, defending the queen, and black is going to be a pawn up after losing the exchange. But this is, of course, this is not looking very good. So apparently it looks like black has some problems in this position because knight to g4 is looking pretty annoying. And after knight to g4, how to deal with that? Of course, it's both liberating the bishop, threatening to capture the knight, and at the same time threatening bishop to c7. So Levenfish played rook to c5, and this was a dubious move. This was also not very good. Well, it looks so simple, of course, but at the same time it is not. This is the genius of Capablanca. His chess games are looking so simple, but at the same time, actually he was such an accurate player, and against Capablanca, suffering is so normal. So rook takes rook, bishop takes rook, but here comes bishop to g5, and maybe Levenfish was sweating very hard at this moment of this chess game. So both pinning the knight and threatening to take the knight, eliminating the defender, and then checkmating the king on h7. So a natural looking move, h6, defending and asking a question. Maybe some chess players would go back with the bishop, would defend the bishop, or maybe capture the knight, but Capablanca is increasing the pressure. He played knight to g4. Capablanca says, go ahead and capture my bishop and make my day. If capturing the bishop, very simple, capturing the knight, check. So for example, if h takes on g5, then eliminating the defender and then checkmating the king, or if pawn takes, same story, black is getting checkmated. Okay, so a raging attack by Capablanca, knight to g4, and increasing the pressure, so threatening to take the knight, pawn takes is what black can do, and then landing on h6, and shortly black is probably going to get checkmated. Defending this is not going to be easy. So bishop goes back for the rescue. Houston, we got a problem. Capablanca captured the knight, and this is almost losing by force. Because of that, Levenfish, one of the first ever chess grandmasters of chess, he became a chess grandmaster in 1950, actually. So, a very important player, 2 times chess champion of the Soviet Union. Not a weak player, but as you can see against Capablanca at move 20, he's in deep trouble. So after bishop takes on f6, we have g takes on f6. He realized the danger. What happens if bishop takes, which looks so much more normal and natural? But can you see what happens in this position? What would you do if you had the white pieces? Okay, knight takes on h6, that's check. And if moving the king, a simple continuation would be something like knight takes pawn, forking the king, discover attacking the king, and also attacking the queen and winning the piece. So if capturing the knight, capturing, and how to defend the checkmate threat, there is no defense. So only for prolonging, rook to e8, but we have this very simple checkmate pattern, check, and then checkmate. Black is getting checkmated by force. So obviously knight to g4, not retreating the bishop after pushing the pawn, knight to g4 was an extremely strong and at the same time a very, 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 3 times very annoying move for Mr. Levenfish. Bishop to e7, bishop takes, and then because of the variation that I demonstrated, black decided to capture with the pawn. But Capablanca says, I can take on h6 with check. Capablanca captured the pawn with check. We have king to g7, not moving the king in front of the queen, as you can see, because if black would do that, then knight takes pawn, obviously check, and maybe actually black is getting checkmated. So discover attacking the king, forking king and the queen, and where is the king going? Queen to h7 is going to be checkmate, I guess. So king to g7, black says, okay, please let's take the draw. So check, king goes back, and then queen to h5, king to g7. So black is saying, okay, please check my king, please. And then we can get the draw by repetition, please. So queen to g4, king goes back, queen goes up, king goes up, check, and repeating the moves 3 times. And please, Mr. Capablanca, give me the draw. Capablanca says no. Knight takes on f7 and threatening checkmate. Queen to h7, queen to g6, checkmate, and also attacking the queen. This game is lost. So rook to h8, a meaningless move actually. If rook takes knight, then we have check and then checkmate. So knight takes on f7, rook to h8, and then check, and black resigned. Actually, black is not losing the queen. Maybe knight takes queen comes to mind, but knight takes rook is so much more accurate and correct. Threatening checkmate, only defense, and black is actually getting checkmated by force. Check, only move, and this is the only move. And bishop takes, and how to defend the checkmate threat. Black is pushing the pawn, black is hoping to promote the queen. I'm just kidding. And then queen to f7, checkmate. What a game by Capablanca, the genius, the human chess machine, the 3rd official world chess champion, Jose Raul Capablanca. Even his name is cool. It sounds cool. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess games. I actually have a few more Capablanca chess games to demonstrate in this channel to show you. As I analyze some of the other chess games of Capablanca, 2 more very interactive chess games is available. They are also very beautiful. I hope that I'm going to show those chess games as well in the near future. So thank you so much again. Stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.